Hello and welcome to Todd Talk, where insight meets inspiration. I'm your host, Todd Hiller, and I'm an author, speaker, and longtime community leader, here to guide you on a journey towards fulfillment and balance. In every episode, we'll explore ways to fill life's emptiness, helping you uncover practical tools to create harmony, purpose, and happiness. Whether it's thriving in your career, nurturing personal growth, or simply finding joy in the everyday, Todd Talk is your space for real conversations and actionable advice. So let's thrive together, personally, professionally, and beyond. This is Todd Talk, and I'm thrilled to have you here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Todd Talk. Today, I'd like to talk to you about something that started as a TikTok video that I posted, and the idea kind of rolled around in my brain, and I got some really cool comments on the video, and it really got me thinking a little more about the idea of how love is an action or a whole series of actions, and not just a feeling. You know, love is action, not just those feelings. It's a verb that is best lived out in action, and it's okay that it's, butterflies and it's, overwhelming feelings, and all that kind of stuff still matters. The feeling part still matters. So please, if you are a lover or a love poet or someone who has big feelings about this, please don't jump on me and be like, no, it's absolutely feelings. Like, the feelings 1,000% matter. That is not what I'm saying. However, I'm saying the most complete version of love I think we can feel is when we are loved with actions, and we understand that it's not just a feeling that we feel, it's a way that we can physically manifest ourselves and our actions and our feelings into doing things for those people we love and those people we care about. And when we do that, when we feel that all-encompassing kind of feeling, the butterflies and the overwhelming urges to just blurt out, I love you, and scream it from the top of a mountain, which, happens all the time to lots of people, and it's really beautiful when it does. But loving people with actions and forward-moving and forward-thinking actions about how to make the people in your life know how you feel with more than words is a really beautiful thing. So I posted the TikTok, and the idea kind of came about, and I wanted to pick it up now as a podcast episode because I've had some more thoughts about this, and just, I don't know, it's got the my brain working and overtime like it does sometimes when we think about a topic. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about how love isn't just a feeling, love is an action. And we talk about love all the time. We write about it, we sing about it, we daydream about it, but too often we forget the simplest truth about love sometimes, that it isn't just a feeling, it's an action that you can take, or sometimes a whole series of actions. In addition to the butterflies and the fireworks and the comfort that comes kind of after the storm when love shows up, real love is a verb. It's something that you do. It's not just something that you say out loud. It's definitely something that you do. It's showing the people in your life that you love all the ways you appreciate them and support them with those little actions. It's making someone coffee in the morning just the way they like it because you know how they like it. Or even if they just drink black coffee, it's waking up early and being able to hand it to them and say, here you go, here's your coffee. I know it tastes better when someone pours it for you. Even if that's all it is, it still makes a really big difference. Or more than coffee, it's knowing what food someone in your life really loves, even if you don't like them, and making them for dinner. Or it's knowing what foods they really can't stand and making sure you never serve them for dinner, or you never order them for dinner when you're out for a group to share. And love is little things like seeing their favorite sweatshirt has a hole in it, and bringing home a new one that's exactly the same just because you don't want them to have a hole in their favorite sweatshirt. And more so, washing it 4 or 5 times to make sure it's broken in a little bit so it feels just as comfortable as the old one. All those little things add up, and what they do is they allow the person that you are loving to understand and see in real time what your love takes shape as, instead of just words. Now, as an author and a speaker, I love words, and I can use them to be, pretty powerful, and I can use them. I'm using them right now in this podcast episode. But actions, they always say actions speak louder than words, and a lot of times it's so true. Letting those people in your life see that and feel that and experience that can be a really beautiful way for them to feel loved. And it doesn't just have to be grandiose things. I know in the movies sometimes the action, they stand on the front steps of the high school and they sing to their sweetheart, or they put the billboard message up, or they fly the plane with the banner behind it. And that is all well and good. Those are all great actions. However, love can also live in the quiet, ordinary, everyday gestures that you have within your life, within the people you know and the people you love. Showing up every day and sending a good morning message to someone and just being part of their day, and so they know that you're there, even if the messages are every 30 seconds or every 20 minutes throughout the course of the day. If you start the day by letting someone know that you're there for them and you say, hey, I'm here, good morning, I'm awake, how are you? Are you awake? What are you up to? What's your day look like? All that kind of stuff. It's just showing up for somebody. That action is really, really beautiful. And it's little things like that that can get you through, not only tough times, but just help you really see the beauty in everyday life and everyday love. I think there's a quote, I don't remember how it goes exactly, but I think it's something to the effect of love is not a noun to be defined, but a verb to be acted upon. It's something like that. That might be it. And I think it's true in every kind of relationship. It doesn't just have to be a romantic one. It can be a friendship. It can be your family. It can be how you love yourself, too. Don't forget that showing up for yourself is a really important thing to do. I've talked a lot before about self-care, and one of the things I speak about in one of my keynotes is personal wellness, and the idea that personal wellness is not just self-care. Like, self-care is kind of a term I think that a lot of people relate to things like getting a massage or going for a walk or doing some yoga or taking a nap or making sure you rest. But personal wellness is this overarching term, this really big, broad umbrella that covers you, literally and figuratively, to know what it means for you to feel well enough about yourself that you can not only serve yourself, but you can service and help other people. And when you do that, and when you find a way to understand your level of personal wellness and how to get there and then how to stay there, really great things can happen in your life. And so you can show up for yourself, also loving yourself with those little actions. Taking a nap, making time for your favorite things throughout the day, not giving away all your time and energy to other things is a way to love yourself and a way to show up for yourself with action, not just with words. It's great to stand in the mirror and say, hey, you're doing a great job, to pat yourself on the back, or to say, grab the sticker for your laptop that says, I'm proud of me too. Like, all those things matter. But those actions that you take for yourself are really how you can start to change your habits and change your life in the way you show up for yourself. And that can echo and ripple across the entire expanse of you as a person and how willing you are to do things for other people. Because when you learn to take some action to love yourself and treat yourself well, just like you treat other people well, you can unlock a whole new level of energy to give back to other people. And that's really awesome when that happens. And whether it's with you or with someone else, I think a lot of times we underestimate the power of small gestures. Like I said, the movies typically show up with these big grandiose things, but that's what Hollywood cinema is all about. The little things that you do for the people in your life, your loved ones, your spouse, your people you're in a romantic relationship with, your family members, whatever it is. You don't have to move mountains, but if you grab their favorite snack at the grocery store because it reminded you of them, you were walking by and you're like, oh my God, so-and-so loves these. Like, I got to grab these. I'm right here next to them. They need them. They haven't had them in a while, And it could be something silly. It could be noodles from Trader Joe's that somebody loves. And you could be like, oh my God, I need to go get some of these. I don't think this person has had them in a while. They can't get them where they are. They haven't bought them in forever. They never think to get them. I got to get them for them. That makes me think of them. I want to make them happy. Those little things do lots of things because, one, it is the action of the gift, like the, oh my God, I love these, they're delicious, it's my favorite snack, thank you so much. But it's also the action that someone is listening, really listening, and they know that you like them, and they remembered that you like them and they're your favorite snack, and they took the time to go grab them. Those little things can go a long way, and they're so fun to do too. I mean, it's great to be on the receiving end of things, but when you do it, when you get to do those things, those actions, it's fantastic. My mom is a great example of this. She remembers everybody's favorites, favorite dinners, favorite candies, favorite snacks, favorite cake, favorite ice cream, all the favorites in the world. And when it comes to birthdays and Christmas or just get-togethers, she makes sure that she has those things. Even the little things like, oh, I remember you like this brand of soda, or you like this brand of whatever it is. She's so good about loving the people in her life that way. And it's been such a beautiful example because my mom is just a fantastic person. I love her so, so much. But I've taken so many lessons from her about how to love people with those small gestures because she thinks and she notices and then she does those things. And you're like, oh my God, like, I haven't mentioned this to you in forever. Mom, like, how on earth? And she's like, oh, I remember that you said one time that, like, you really liked this brand better, or this was your favorite thing to eat together with this meal. And it's just one of her ways of loving people. And when you do that, when you show up for people that way, it makes you feel really good. And it can also make the person on the receiving end just feel tremendous, really tremendous. And one other thing not to overlook is just the text that says, hey, I'm thinking of you today. That little thing, that simple little phrase, sometimes it means that you change someone's entire day because that person's like, oh my God, I was having the worst day ever. And I got a text out of blue that said, hey, I'm thinking of you. How are you? Hope you're well. Miss you. Love you. And that right there can carry someone and completely change someone's day from not so great to really, really good. And it's so simple to do. Super simple to do. It's those tiny things that say, hey, I see you. I know you. You matter to me. You are my person. You are the person I love, the person I care about, the person I want to spend time with or that I like spending time with, all those little things. And those small actions also add up, and they build trust, they build connection, they turn affection into something really, really anchored and really, really tied down deep, and that's one of the most beautiful feelings and one of the most beautiful things about those little actions of love, that when they add up like that, you don't just think, oh, someone said I love you, or oh, someone said, oh, I'm thinking of you. It's not a one-off little conversation. It's really this built thing with a foundation of people listening and understanding and remembering what you like to make you feel like, man, there is at least one person in this world who gets me. I have one person that, is with me through and through. And like I said, it can be a family member. It can be a romantic relationship. It can be a best friend. It doesn't matter. But that kind of affection does exist. And when it manifests itself with words and those actions, gosh, it's super cool. It's really, really cool. So if this is something you're thinking about, I want to ask you, what's one quiet thing you could do today that would make someone in your life feel loved? Pick someone, your spouse, your best friend, your family member, your brother, your sister, your mom, I don't care who it is. But what is something you think you could do? A little small gesture. Doesn't have to be grandiose. It can just be a real gesture, something from the heart. Do that little thing for someone today, because that will, I guarantee it will make them feel better. But I think it will also make you feel a little bit better too, to pass that on, because it gets contagious. It makes the other person feel good, and it also makes you feel good in return, right? It's kind of a two-way street. And, let's not forget too that this isn't just like the happy, super, best day ever kind of love that, again, you see on TV here on social media. Love on the hard days matters just as much, if not more, because then you're showing up and saying, hey, listen, not only am I still here to love you and to battle for you and to fight for you and make sure that you know that I care about you, but also I know sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's frustrating. We have conversations we have to walk through and work through, but always, always, always you're there with this thing, this foundation of love, and this foundation of words and actions and gestures that make that person know, and you make each other know, that you are in it together for the long haul, really is what carries you through those bad days and those really tough days. I saw a meme once. I think it was a heart with like a tank top on it. It says, "Love doesn't run when things get tough; it rolls up its sleeves." And like it was a funny little like cartoon meme, but it's so true. Like that's the kind of stuff you want. That's the person you want showing up for you. Is the one who will get down and nitty and gritty and do the hard things and have the hard conversations and even show up for you when things are tough or the days are long and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I just want to go home and sleep, or whatever it is. You keep showing up for that person in your life, or those people in your life, because there can certainly be more than one. You can love your family or your friends lots of different ways, but make sure you don't forget to just don't run from it. Don't give up on it. It's okay. It can endure, and those gestures are how we kind of show that to people. And we're talking about words and about actions. I think one of the most powerful actions when it comes to love doesn't have to have any words attached to it. It can just be sitting with someone, sitting beside them quietly or in silence, when there are no words to make it better, when there is no need to say, I'm sorry, because that won't help, or because it's not something you did at your fault for. It's just something the other person is going through. Sitting there silently and just letting that person know that you were there to physically sit with them, to be in that space with them, to be there for them and show up for them, or to be in a message feed with them and nobody's typing back and forth, but you just say, hey, just to let you know, I'm still here. I'm here when you're ready. I'm here when you're ready to talk. Because the relationships you will form in this life, the relationships you have, the ones that truly matter, they mean way more than a moment. Right? We might get frustrated in a moment. We might get angry in a moment. We might get upset or confused or, a little perturbed in a moment. We might even just get, a little bit, off track, and we're not on the same page and we're having trouble connecting with that person in that moment. But the entire relationship means and matters much more than that moment. The strongest kind of love doesn't need to rescue. It kind of remains. It's not like, I better charge in hard now and try to fix this. It's not a rescue tool. It's a remaining thing. It's the ever strong, ever present, hard hitting, beating life force foundation thing that says, hey, I'm here. I'm going to remain. I'm not going to leave. I'm not leaving. I refuse to let go of this. I'm going to keep showing up even on the hard days, and let those moments pass. And that is love in action, so the words matter and so do the actions. It all matters and adds up to something really beautiful. And I think because we live in such a fast-paced social media, like super scroll world, where if it's not exciting in the first 4 seconds, we scroll on social media, or if it's a conversation that we find is boring, like we tune out right away, showing up consistently day after day, every single day is a huge way to say, hey, guess what? I love you. You're stuck with me. And it sounds, it makes me kind of grin when you say it, but like it's true. Listen, I'm not going anywhere. I know today's been hard. I know we had a tough conversation, or I know you're in a bad mood, or I'm in a bad mood, or whatever the case may be. But, you're stuck with me. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. You got me forever. You're stuck with me for the long haul. So, let's figure out how to get through this. And there's kind of like it's not as simple as this, but we could kind of break it down and say there's like a 1, 2, 3 step process to really making a difference when it comes to the people in your life. First things first, notice things. Pay attention to what matters to the people you care about, their habits, their needs, their moods. If you're in a romantic relationship, learn someone's love languages. Take that little quiz with them. Learn and figure out what yours are, learn what theirs are, and then learn how to serve those things. The second step would be to act on those. Do one small thing every day that says, hey, you matter to me. Hey, I love you. Hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I'm showing up for you. Hey, I'm not going anywhere. And the third thing would be, I think, to repeat that. Consistency is way better than intensity. It's consistency is the heartbeat of love, so to speak. But, they say consistency beats intensity every time. And it's true, because if you do something super, this is great, like really grandiose and really intense, and it happens once or twice, you're like, awesome, that was great for that moment. But the rest of the moments now have fallen away, and you're like, well, where did all that energy go? It's gone by the wayside. So the consistency is really important. Showing up over and over again is really, really important. And I think there's a whole list of things that we would do for the people we love, right? Both actions and words and gestures. And remember, it can be different for everybody. Some people, and like as you sit here and listen to the podcast, please think of these people, because I guarantee there is someone in your life right now you'd be like, yep, you know what? I would just get on a plane and fly 5,000 miles to bring them a cup of coffee if I could. Like, hands down, I would do that for you, because, you've been there through everything. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you and how much you mean to me. Like, that's something I would do for you. And then when you do that, when you think of those people, tell them that you're thinking of them, and let them know you're there, and let them know that, hey, I've been thinking about you all day, or I had this thought about us, or whatever it is. And again, romantic relationship, friendship, spouse, whatever it is, tell those people in your life. And then repeat that action. And it'll become a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it'll be really, really cool. And one of the things, too, while we're on this topic of, like, the things you could do for other people, please don't forget the family members in your life, or even the friends that you have that you love that you don't see all that often. Let them know, because sometimes with that comfort, with that when things are really long-term and you kind of know that, like, hey, this is a long-term thing, and this is especially true with long-term friendships and family, you're not really going to, remove yourself from the genetic line and say, I'm going to take myself off the grid and not be associated with you anymore. I mean, sometimes we do. But the people in your lives, the long-term people in your lives, I think we tend to forget to tell them as much, and show them with those actions that we love them, because we're used to them being like routine, and then they're just kind of there, and we exist together in time and space. So make sure you let those people know too, and let those people know especially, because they're the ones, they sometimes probably don't get told enough, or they don't see those actions enough from the other people in their lives. And my mom is a great example. I know that my mom loves to hear from me, so I try to make sure I message my mom every single day. She doesn't live very far away. I see her a lot too, but even on the days where I know I'm not going to see her on a weekend for a kid's soccer game or something, I'll try to message her. Sometimes it's 9 o'clock at night and I've had a busy day and I just haven't, caught up with her yet, but I'll send her a message and say, hey, how was your Wednesday? because I want her to know that I'm thinking of her, and she crosses my mind every single day, and I really do want to know how her Wednesday was. So do that for those people in your life, and then hopefully, my hope is that people will do it for you too, because it can feel really, really great. It can feel really great. And also, like I said before, don't forget, this is not just about loving others. This is about loving yourself too. Making time for yourself to rest, to heal, to grow. That's love in action for yourself. Because if you don't do anything to grow or to rest or to heal or change as a person, 5 years from now, you're going to be the same person. You're just going to be 5 years older. All right. So give yourself that time and opportunity to do those things as well. Love practice daily becomes a habit, and habits over time shape who we are. Right? I read this great article a couple days ago about how change, motivation doesn't bring about change, habits do. You can listen to every single motivational speech in the world, and by the time you leave the room, typically your motivation's starting to slow down a little bit, and 2 days later you have forgotten motivation altogether. You're back to the same mood and the same status quo. Changing your habits is completely different, because when you change your habits, you change the way you are living, you change your lifestyle, you change how you're showing up for yourself and the other people in your life, and that's where real palpable change happens. So, as we close, here's my challenge for you this week. Don't just feel love, do love, act love. I want you to do that, because it isn't something we find, right? It's something we build, one small act at a time, one small step at a time. Maybe it's coffee. Maybe it's a quiet thank you. Maybe it's a text that says, I'm proud of you. Maybe it's simply being present when someone needs you most, sitting next to them and listening when they need an ear, or a shoulder to lean on. All those things matter. So whatever it looks like, that's love in its truest form, an action, right? Not just a feeling. Not just a feeling. The most beautiful love stories, I think, aren't written, right? They're lived. They're lived one small action, one verb at a time. They're built little by little, pieces of the story, pieces of the puzzle, pieces of the foundation, nestled together in each other's hearts and in people's hearts to let people know that you are there to show up for them. And that's really what matters. It's really, really what matters. Folks, thank you so much, as always, for joining me on Todd Talk. I appreciate every single one of you listening and reaching out to me and letting me know that you have listened, or that you have enjoyed the podcast, or that it's resonated with you. If it's something you think could resonate or be good for someone else in your life, send it to them. Please share that with them, and we can grow our listener base and grow our audience. As always, I hope you've appreciated the message. Have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are in this world, and I appreciate you very, very much. Take care. Thanks for tuning in to Todd Talk. If you've liked what you've heard, please go ahead and subscribe and follow along so you don't miss any updates or new episodes. Thanks very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.